In a season of many lows, Dorian FinneySmith was a surprising high. Undrafted out of the University of Florida, FinneySmith had an uphill climb seeing any playing time last year. But as injuries mounted and incumbents struggled, the 6'8" forward found playing time in the sixth game of the season, after playing a combined 4 minutes and 17 seconds in the first 5 games. Going into the November 6 game versus the Milwaukee Bucks, it wouldn't have been crazy to think a young small forward would leave his imprint all over the game as the key to his team's victory. That the young small forward was FinneySmith, rather than Giannis Antetokounmpo, is a testament to how forcefully the rookie Maverick burst onto the scene. The box score perfectly captures FinneySmith's identity. He was a plus 20 in 31 minutes, scoring 5 points, while shooting 17%. But it was his defense, energy and hustle that propelled the Mavericks to their first win of the season. And that was FinneySmith in a nutshell. Defense, energy and hustle. Last season FinneySmith played in 81 games. He averaged 4 points and 3 rebounds in 20 minutes per night. He effectively usurped Justin Anderson's backup forward spot and never let it go. The Mavs aren't expecting huge things from their second-year forward, but just as he did his rookie year, FinneySmith has the chance to make a splash this season. Click here to listen to Locked On Mavericks Dorian FinneySmith season preview. Biggest question: can he shoot? FinneySmith turned heads for many reasons last year, and his lack of shooting was one of them. He struggled all year, shooting 37% from 2 and 29% from deep. His shooting numbers by distance from the basket are tough to look at. From 3 to 10 feet from the goal, he shot 28%. In the mid-range, 10-16 feet, he shot a putrid 13%. And from 16 feet to the three-point line, FinneySmith was true 30% of the time. Essentially, he was a non-factor on the offensive end, outside of slashing and defensive rebounding. If FinneySmith wants to stick in this league, he will have to improve in this area. Players who specialize in defense only are becoming archaic as teams completely remove them from their defensive game plan. Even now, some teams have the luxury on offensive removing the lockdown defender from the play entirely by sending his man to the corner away from the action. It was a bit disheartening to see FinneySmith struggle so much shooting the basketball in summer league. Players usually make significant improvement from year 1 to year 2, and if this summer is any indication, the sophomore has a long way to go. But if FinneySmith can develop a jump shot, he will be quite defined by the Mavericks. He has all the tools to be a stifling defender. Now he just needs an offensive repertoire for balance. Best case scenario: if FinneySmith can match his offensive productivity with his defensive productivity, this could be a dream season for the young forward. There are multiple ways to do this, but the obvious is stretching the floor. Ideally, FinneySmith would shoot around 35% from 3, just accurate enough to keep defenses honest. He can also devote himself to offensive rebounding and slashing to put pressure on defenses. Another way to use FinneySmith would be as a pick-and-roll man. This gets him moving toward the basket with mismatches to exploit. FinneySmith would have chances to get to the free throw line, where he shot a respectable 75% last year. Worst case scenario: following the same path as his predecessor, Anderson, would be bad news for the promising prospect. He doesn't have Simba's athletic pedigree, but he is a much more cerebral player, so not seeing any improvement would be a major disappointment. Anderson never seemed to gain traction in Carlisle's offense, so FinneySmith not finding comfort or a role would be like déjà vu. He won't be asked to do much, so it will be up to him to produce when his number is called. The Mavericks need FinneySmith to take the next step. The wing depth behind Harrison Barnes is severely lacking, and, like last year, FinneySmith might be the guy by default. But Carlisle won't give it to him, and if Anderson and ex-Maverick Nico Brasino are any indication, FinneySmith needs a positive second year to solidify his spot in Dallas.